Robert Redford is one of the most iconic actors out there, having risen to fame on the back of such films as All the President's Men, The Sting, and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And the actor ventured out into directing later in his career, a feat that greatly increased his artistic profile. Despite his immense success, he's led a troubled personal life with numerous tragedies. Join Facts Verse as we explore the devastating death of Robert Redford's two sons. Robert has been married twice in his life, and he's also the proud father of 4 children. Sadly, 2 of these children have died tragic deaths. He shares his children with his first wife, Lola Van Wagenen. Robert and Lola married in 1958 and gave birth to their first son shortly after in 1959. Their first child was named Scott. Less than 3 months after his birth, he passed away from what is known as sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. SIDS remains an incredibly mysterious occurrence, and the new parents were both shocked and devastated upon finding their newborn baby passed away in his crib. Despite the fact the event took a major toll on both Robert and his wife, they persevered and managed to make their relationship strong. After the death of Scott, they successfully tried again at being parents. Scott was buried in Provo City Cemetery in Provo, Utah. Robert kept the death of his firstborn son a secret for a while, simply believing it wasn't the public's business. Robert and Lola quickly set their grief aside and made a second bid together to become parents, giving birth to their second child in 1960. This was a daughter named Shauna. They were understandably worried during the early months of Shauna's life due to the experience they had with their first child. Thankfully, she ended up growing into a healthy young girl. Following her birth, they gave birth to a third child, James. James was born in 1962. Several years later, they decided it was time to add a new addition to their family and had a second daughter, Amy, who was born in 1970. Robert Redford had been struggling to make a name for himself throughout the 60s and caught a big break when he received the titular role of the Sundance Kid in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. By the time of Amy's birth in 1970, Robert was at the top of the world. Following the birth of his fourth and final child, he quickly rose to become one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. In 1974, he had another hit starring alongside Paul Newman called The Sting, and it became an even bigger success than their first outing together. Sadly, they never made another film together, though they remained great friends. In 1976, Robert starred in All the President's Men, which further solidified the actor as a dramatic star to be reckoned with. Years later, he branched out into directing with 1980's Ordinary People. The film was a major success, and Robert became one of the only people in history to win an Academy Award for Best Director for his debut feature. The film also won other awards, including the Academy Award for Best Picture. Robert came into the 80s at the top of his game, but his marriage was crumbling amidst his increased fame. Robert and Lola's youngest child was entering her double digits, and the couple found themselves less interested in each other than ever before. Robert was spending more and more time away from the family due to his expanding career, and the couple eventually called it quits in 1985. But they maintained a close friendship and continued to co-parent their children together. Despite the fact that their 3 children grew into adults, one of them ended up dying a tragic death just recently. Because of this, Robert has had to watch 2 of his children pass away, which is something no parent should have to do. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. After Robert and Lola's divorce in 1985, they stayed on good terms, so they could watch their 3 remaining children grow up together amicably. And 2 of Robert's children even grew up in their father's Hollywood footsteps. First daughter, Shauna, is the only one of the 3 who didn't grow up to be in Hollywood, but she did become a talented artist in her own right. She became a painter. Although Robert has certainly been better known for his work as an actor and filmmaker, he's always had a passion for painting, having studied it in Florence when he was a young man. Shauna was married in 1985 to a man named Eric Schlosser, and the 2 are still currently together. She's also given birth to 2 children of her own, Connor and Mika. These 2 grandchildren have grown to love their grandpa Robert, and he's grown to love them very much in return. James is the second of Robert and Lola's 4 children to have made it into adulthood, and the couple's second son overall. Sadly, he's also the second of their children to have passed away, but he led a long life before his recent death. James became a director, directing several award-winning documentary TV programs and films with an emphasis on global warming, which is a topic his father is also passionate about. Some of James's work includes 2017's Happening: A Clean Energy Revolution and 2013's Toxic Hot Seat. Before his recent death, James also married and had 2 kids. He married his spouse Kyle in 1988, and the 2 went on to have 2 kids, Dylan and Lena. Amy was the fourth and final of Robert and Lola's children, and she's followed in her father's footsteps even more so than James. In addition to becoming a director, she's also a producer and an actress. She made her acting debut in 1998's Della Ventura before appearing in 1999's Giving It Up. Perhaps more notably, she featured in an episode of the hit HBO drama The Sopranos. In addition to her Hollywood career, Amy also has a daughter. Her only child is shared with her partner, who's a man named Matt August. Besides the films and TV programs Amy's appeared in, she's also directed a feature called The Guitar. The Guitar premiered at Redford's own Sundance Film Festival. Amy also produced the film. Sadly, The Guitar wasn't met with incredibly good critical reception, and Amy has yet to release another feature film as a director. But she has released several short films and appears to have a new feature in production called Phoenix. James passed away in October 2020, marking the second death of a child that Robert Redford has had to experience during his lifetime. He was 58 years old at the time and had recently celebrated his father's 84th birthday with him. James had been battling liver cancer for several years before eventually succumbing. Kyle survived him, in addition to the 2 children the couple had shared. Robert Redford had celebrated his 84th birthday a mere 2 months before the death of his second and last remaining son. In addition to James, his other kids and his grandchildren and second wife joined the actor for his celebration. Robert's second wife is named Sybil Saggers, and the two were married in 2009. Since Robert's role in the 2018 feature The Old Man and the Gun, the actor and director has essentially been retired, but he did come out of retirement for a brief period to reprise his role in the 2019 film Avengers Endgame. That movie could prove to be his last work on film, but many close to Robert are optimistic that the actor could come out of retirement again if the right project came down the line. Now it's time to hear from you. Comment down below to share if you think Robert Redford should come out of retirement. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.